Hello, I am Jan from Prague, the Czech Republic, and in this video we are going to take a closer look at the Canon RF 75-300mm. It's one of the cheapest lenses currently available from Canon, so we can't really expect miracles. But I still thought it would be interesting to try it out. After all, a budget lens for wildlife or sport photography might make sense not just for beginners. So let's put it to the test in a place that's absolutely perfect for it, the Prague Zoo. I'll be totally honest, I really didn't expect much from this test. A cheap kit lens with no image stabilization and a design that's over 25 years old does not exactly sound exciting or promising. But as you'll see in this video, the results were actually better than I expected. That said, let me be clear, this is definitely not a lens for more ambitious photographers. But as a low-cost option for occasional family or wildlife shooting, why not? See it for yourselves. We start at 75 and we go up to 300 in the full-frame equivalent, something like 120 up to 480. So that would be 75, and now we are going up, and that is 300. As you know, image sharpness tend to drop at wider apertures. So this is 5.6 and this would be 9. So if you zoom it, so you can clearly see that the sharpness is better at higher f numbers. This is actually what really matters, so let us see some examples at different f numbers. That would be 5, and of course, as I mentioned, these photos might look softer, but it's not a major disaster, I have to say. This is example shot at 5.6, meaning the widest aperture at the maximum 300mm, and of course, I was really expecting it'll be soft, it will have a lot of optical issues, but frankly, I didn't find any big issues. Yes, of course it could be sharper, but again, we are speaking about a very cheap lens and still we are able to get things like this. Or look at this parrot. And if we zoom to that shot, I'm just, well, I have to say amazed. Again, we are talking about the widest possible aperture, 5.6. Photographers just wouldn't touch this, I guess. But again, do not expect miracles, but do expect quite decent footage. 6.3 nice shots and a close-up of this amazing animal and the other one. These are examples of apertures 7.1, and I have to admit that was the most common setting I was using. So 7.1 would be a sweet spot for me because it still allowed me not to push ISO too high, but the quality was really, really good, as you can see from these details. For the sake of the experiment and test, I pushed it to even more extreme levels. So this would be aperture f8, which I would typically not do, but look at this, isn't this amazing? Cheap lens, a great portrait, and a lot of details. And one more other friend, it's actually black-tailed prairie dog, if you are interested, and aperture 9, again close up, and this is 10. I would typically not go up to 10 or 13 like here because it's too extreme, but well, if you see details here, you can see every single spot on the bird's head. So my advice would be, once you buy this, just do invest energy and time into experimenting to which aperture values would fit to what you really need. And important note, if you buy the lens, do not forget to download so-called lens profile and upload it to your camera so you get much better, sharper results. Or also, do not forget, once you are working with RAWs like I do here, you are actually able to manipulate with the lens profile and fix all these issues like chromatic aberrations, vignetting, and all that stuff. And now we are going to see about 150 photos in a couple of minutes. And yes, sometimes people are very critical and telling me you are too quick. But what I want you to do is just to have an option to see a lot of shots within a couple of minutes, so you have some impression. And well, the impression can be clearly detected even from these opening shots, because they are just good. And again, I am not telling you go to the nearest shop and buy the lens. No, I would always tell you, please, if you have extra money, get something more expensive, like more robust. But if you ask the question from the other way around, meaning I just really want something which is cheap, which will allow me to use it twice a year at my son's football game, and then in zoo where we like to go once a month or once a year, would that work for me? If the question sounds like that, my answer would be yes. I mean, I was really surprised what I was able to get out of that cheap lens. Again, do not expect some amazing results. Do not expect that every single shot would be sharp. Do not expect amazing quality at the wide apertures. No, you have to be used to compromises. But at the end of the day, what can you see from these examples? I am nearly sure you'll be pleasantly surprised that you get something which can be used for shots like that. Some more details from the famous Prague Zoo, and once more the black-tailed prairie dog. I had to put it down because it's really a long name. I was testing, as you already seen, many different variations, many different versions of the same shots. I was using different apertures because I really wanted me and you to see what should you expect if you buy the lens. And you already know the answer. Given the price, you'll be getting quite decent results. Of course, there would be many things we can be critical about. It's softer at wider apertures. Sometimes I get an impression that the focusing is not as precise as I would like it to be, so I had to repeat some shots a couple of times. Also, if you are testing shots like that, you have to remember that I am really zooming a lot. The light conditions were really poor, so I had to push up ISO to really high levels. I have to be very careful about the shutter speed. So you have to really find the proper way how to operate with that lens. But once you do it, I again say you won't be disappointed. Some amazing details shot inside, and even if we go outside and we want to get some nice photographs of the parrot, you again will get it. Some more shots, some more details, some more experiments with different values of aperture and so on. And if you can zoom to these shots, you'll probably be surprised what are we able to get out of that lens. A slow turtle, and we are slowly, as the turtle, approaching the end of that very quick trip to the Prague Zoo with these amazing birds. Well, yeah, the light might be better. Let me just mention once more that all these shots are totally unedited. These shots are exactly as I took them. These are just JPEGs directly from the camera, and final sequence of that amazing creature. We've already seen it. I did these shots at the very end of my zoo trip, and at that point I realized that yes, for these, how much? $200, $300, that is really something which might play well in your hands. Last look at that amazing creature, and one more detail, and by looking to his or her eyes, let me just say thank you for your attention. I hope I gave you a bit of information and perhaps inspiration. So take care. I am Jan from Prague, the Czech Republic.